How do you diffuse light? The concept of light diffusion has been around for a very long time, but it has really come into play, especially with the film and television industry. Diffusing light is just incredibly important and is used constantly in the industry. Today we'll be going over what diffusion is, how to diffuse, whose job it is to diffuse on a film set, and many other things. So buckle up and let's get started. The first question is, what is light diffusion? Light diffusion happens when you have spread out a light source. You'll have a lot less defined shadows and your image will look a lot cleaner. Now, does this mean that you will be using light diffusion in every single one of your shots? No, and that leads us to our next point. When should you use light diffusion? A lot of times you will have to decide whether your shot looks more natural with soft or hard light, soft light being diffused light and hard light being not diffused light. Many times soft light is associated with safety in a scene and hard light is associated with danger. However, there are many exceptions to this rule, and there are a whole list of things that I could go into about when to use soft light and when to use hard light. However, a great rule of thumb is to pay attention to what looks natural. This will take some experimenting, this will take some experience, but overall you will slowly get the hang of what looks good in soft lighting and what looks good in hard lighting. For example, right now I am being lit by a soft light source. I have put a diffusion, in fact, I've put a paper towel in front of my NAND light, which is acting as my key light. If I were to take that paper towel off, I look like this. And you can see that there is a much harsher light on me now and that there is a very defined shadow coming from that light. Moving on, how do you diffuse light? As I mentioned before, it can be as simple as putting a paper towel in front of your light. Anything that you put between your light source and your subject that still allows light to pass through it is going to act as a diffuser. However, you do generally want to use some sort of white cloth to diffuse. This can be as simple as a paper towel or as complex as an 8x. In the industry, we call these silks, and they are basically just glorified bed sheets on a frame. I've been on shoots before where I will literally go out and buy a bed sheet from Walmart because we don't have the budget to get an 8x or rent an 8x, and they work basically just as well. There are definitely gaffers who will argue about the light quality that comes from that, but that's a whole other conversation, and honestly, I don't see that much of a difference from using a bed sheet than I do from a silk. Now, whose job is it to diffuse light? Initially, the lighting plan will have to be cleared by the DP. The DP is the #1 person and the very highest person on a film set who will be clearing an image. Generally, though, a lighting plan will be made by the gaffer, and then the DP will clear that. When it comes to actually diffusing the light, however, the grip department will actually rig that diffusion. There are so many different rigging tools that are used to rig up diffusion. I've already mentioned an 8x frame. They will sometimes be as simple as literally clamping a bedsheet to a C-stand. Other times you will be using trusses and incredibly complex equipment, but again, those are on bigger shoots. If you're on a budget, literally using a light stand and a bedsheet will work basically just as fine. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really hope that you learned something in this. Let me know if you enjoyed it in the comments below, and I will make some more videos on this explaining different types of light and different lighting equipment and ideas. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next video.